Hey everybody, welcome back to West Corners Custom Cycles. Welcome back to the Underground Garage. I'm Pat. I just want to take a minute here before we get into the video to take the time to thank everybody who's been tuning into the channel. I just checked about a half an hour ago. We hit 465 subscribers. I want to thank everybody out there who has hit that subscribe button and joined the Underground Army. I thank you wholeheartedly. Any of you who check out these videos, please, by all means, if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more of this content, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, get a notification whenever I'm putting up a new video. Maybe you see something cool, maybe you learn something that helps you out with your own bike. All right, thanks a lot. Today is the day where I want to get that new CV carburetor on the Skull bike here. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull the cone air filter, we're going to pull the old carburetor off, I'm going to get the new one, we're going to get it on here, get it all buttoned up, get the fuel hooked up to it. Now years ago I converted this over to points, so I do not use the Vos on this. You know, most bikes have a Vos on them, they use a vacuum line that goes to the carb. We won't be using that on this today, but so we'll get that on here, get it fired up, see how it idles at least, and that'll probably take a week or so, run it around and get a couple of 100 miles on it, and then we'll come back and do a review video on it about you know, performance, decel and XL, you know, how it idles, if it's giving me any problems, and what I might have to do to cure it, if it's just a matter of adjusting the fuel air mixture, or if I got to take it back off and maybe put a bigger jet in it. But we'll find all that out. All right, let's get to this video. All right, I got you in here closer, and we'll get this cone air filter off. I already got the tools out. It's 3 Allens holding the air filter on. There's 2 1/2-inch bolts holding the carburetor bracket that holds the carburetor to the motor, keeps it from flopping around. Then we got the fuel line here. That's probably just a flathead screwdriver down here, yeah, on a hose clamp. And when we put it back together, I'm going to use the new fuel line that came with the new carburetor. It's going to get an inline fuel filter. The new carb also has a drain here that'll go down, you know, so it comes out the bottom of the bike in case there's ever an overflow issue. It'll go on the ground, not all over the bike. You don't want gas going on a hot motor, not usually a good thing. Anyway, all right, let's start getting this off. There's a gasket between this air filter and the chrome bracket here. Be careful you don't tear that. I must have put a little blue Loctite on these because they don't want to be coming out very well. All right. I'll come back after I get this apart. All right, we're back. That's off. I set that off to the side so nothing will happen to it, won't get scratched. Like I said before, these are 1/2-inch. Mounting bracket for the carburetor. Make sure it's not flopping around on you. Gasket in there. Goes between the bracket and the carburetor. Don't lose that or tear it. Now, right here we got a fuel line. Loosen up the hose clamp on that. Now I got a set of pliers here that I use. See how good you can see this. They got a loop in the end of them. And I use them for pulling off hose. And on this, it's probably going to help a lot because this is a plastic inlet here. And from what I've told, they have a lot of problems with them breaking. I've never had an issue with it. I've had the carburetor off here before, but this is a 1989. It's been off of there before. All right, I'm going to get a rag and make sure I don't get gas everywhere when I pull this line off, whatever's in the line. And I'll come back. We got a hose clamp. Where is it? Find the beginning of the hose clamp. Anyway, I got to get in the back here, figure out where that hose clamp is. Get that loosened up. We'll pull the carburetor off, and I'll come back and show you how the two fuel lines or the two throttle cables are hooked up. We'll get those disconnected, and the carb will be free. And then I'll get the other one on. All right. Okay, kids, I'm back. I stand corrected. There was no hose clamp on the back. It's just rubber and it pops on there, seals it up. So you just grab it and kind of wiggle it and pluck it off. The one thing I did forget about is there is a choke cable that goes to the other side where my ignition is. They do make a relocation bracket for this choke, and it mounts on these two screws right here, and it's got a little hole off to the side that you mount this onto so that you can have your choke right here next to your carburetor instead of it being on the other side of the bike. Some people like that. You can relocate it if you want. I'm just leaving mine where it was. Now, like I told you, I'll show you how to get these throttle cables out. Mine does have the push and pull. Some only have one, but they all come off the same way. You turn your throttle, or open your butterfly, your slide, and your get in there. And this one will come down. There's a little groove in the side here. Okay, it's not wanting to cooperate. Okay, everybody, I got you in here real close so you can see this. What I wound up doing, there's two screws to hold the bracket on. Like I said, this cable slips right through the side here and goes up on there. Well, the one that I thought part of this coil broke off of actually has a spring on the bottom of it. So, to remember, when this was on the carburetor, that one went in the longer tube. And the way these come out, let me check the camera and make sure we're still on point here and you can see what's going on. I'll just show you with one of them. This just turns to the side like that, and that pops out. Now I can show you both, I guess. This one comes off the same way. Pops right out. And then, with that, the carburetor is free. I'll bring it back out. Okay. You can see now, carburetor is off. There's the manifold. Carburetor's right here. Now this one's going to get cleaned out, rejetted, and readjusted. And that one, this one is going to go on my son's 93 Electra Glide. He's actually got an S&S on there that's giving him a problem, so I'm going to rebuild this one and put it on his bike. And then I'm going to take a look at the S&S on his bike. But this way his bike doesn't got to be down. He can be running it and won't be an issue. And I just noticed, and I never noticed it before, this is where your Bose hose goes. Oh, that was kind of a neat rhyme. Anyway, this should be plugged off if you're not running your Bose. And this has been converted to points, so you don't use Bose when you've converted it to points. I'm going to have to put a plug on that. I never realized that was off of there. Huh. All right. Well, actually, I might leave it off because I'll have to check and see if if they're using it. I don't think they are on my sons if they've got an S&S on there. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to get the new one on here. I'm going to go in the house and get it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, everybody. Back here with the new carb. Wanted to let everybody know what was going on. This is the rubber piece. Got a groove on the inside of it. Goes as deep as that 1/2-inch gasket. You pop it on the manifold. Make sure it's seated down all the way around real good. Got it nice and flush. Now I already took the liberty of running the fuel line and putting the inline fuel filter in it just to save time. This video is getting a little lengthy. So now what you got to do, you got to take this bracket that goes for the throttle cables. Now I told you the one with the spring on the bottom of it goes in this longer tube. So we'll get these put in here. These all ready to go. Just like that. And then when you take your carburetor, you're going to take your choke cable and you're going to have to feed it through to the other side. Now this part here is going to snap right into this rubber piece that you put on there. But before we do that, we got to get this throttle cable assembly here mounted back up on here. Get the screws back in it. There's that one. Just remember, I got to get them throttle cables in there into your. Of course, it's going to fight me the whole way. Why wouldn't it? Okay. That one around that side. That one in on that side. Now we can put the screws in. Get everything lined up. There's a little notch here with a stud that you got to get that on. This is that Japanese screwdriver I was telling you about. I'm not going to tighten that right up yet till I get the other one started. I'm trying to stay out of your way here so you can see what I'm doing. I'll use the stubby for that. Okay. And there we go. Huh. For some reason, seems to have an awful lot of slack in this cable. In both of them. I wonder They are. These two brackets are different. You can see this one's higher here than this one. So you are going to have to use the stock bracket for your bike if you're going to use this carburetor. So, take that back off. I'll get this switched around. Got some time down on this video. Okay, I'm back. That was a whole lot of fun. Got it on there. Now you can see the cables don't have the slack in them that they did. You're going to have to use this old bracket if you want to do this. Now that I think about it, with all the everything I've had to use from the old one, the choke cable, this bracket, and everything else, I should have just took the time to clean my carb and put it back on. But we'll get her on there and see how she works, and we'll go from there. So, as you can see, I've got the fuel line run. Cables are hooked up. Push and pull. Now we're going to take this part, and we're going to pop it in the rubber right here. Remember, have your choke cable fed through where it's got to go. Okay. Make sure that's on there. Trying to get that choke cable fed through. It's catching up on something. What the hell am I caught on? Okay, I'm through now. That's over there. I think we're seated in there good. Okay. Boy, that throttle assembly there where it spins when the cable pulls it just, I mean just right here, misses that cylinder. But it's good. Okay, my fuel line fed down through here. Figure out the length and snip that off. Okay, everybody. I'm back. Sorry about that last segment getting a little shaky. I didn't realize one of the legs from the tripod that I was using the camera for was on the piece of the cardboard I was kneeling on, and I was shaking the camera around. But you got to see what needed to be seen. Like I said, if you're going to do this, a couple of things. This bracket here that holds your throttle cable, I had to use the one from the original CV carburetor, my Harley one, because this section in here, right in here, is about 1 inch taller on the original one, and this one was giving me too much slack in the cable and the throttle wasn't working right. So you have to change that out. You have to use your original choke cable from your original carburetor. When I shut off on that last segment, it was about 7 o'clock at night. I stayed out for about another hour and got this bracket on here that holds the carb, and it keeps it pushed into the intake. Just a word to everybody out there: if you're going to customize the stuff, you can see I hope in these bolts here I drilled holes all the way through them. these bolts have to be vented bolts. On your original carburetor, they're vented, so if you're not going to use the original ones, you're going to have to make some. So that's what I did. Anyway, this is all set up, should be ready to go. I haven't even turned the gas on it yet, so I'm going to turn the gas on, let some gas get down into the float bowl and fill that up, and then we'll try and fire this up. I'm going to back this idle in here. I'm going to try and back that off about half a turn so that when I start this, I would much rather it be on a low idle than a high idle screaming at, 9,000 RPMs. So, all right, give me a second. Let me get the gas on, let that float bowl fill up, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm finally back. Was having an issue, couldn't get it to start, didn't know what was going on. Well, first off, my battery was dead when I hit the starter the first time. It was just clicking away, so I put the battery charger on it. In the meantime, I polished up all my chrome push rods and this with some chrome polish, and still couldn't get it to start. Once I got it to where it would roll over, turned out that I must have had a vapor lock in the line here, some air that wouldn't get out. I pulled it off, got some gas running through it, popped it back on the nipple here on the carburetor, rolled it over a few more times, and she popped right off. So we're running now. I'll show you. As you can see, we're up and running. I'm going to fine tune this a little bit, get the idle set, maybe play with the mixture, turn that back and forth till I find the happy middle there. And once that's set, I'll take this out, put a couple of 100 miles on it, and once I get a couple of 100 miles on it, I'll get back to you guys and I'll let you know how it's doing, how it performs, and if I like it or not. If not, I'll just put the other one back on it. But I think I'm just going to keep that one and go through my son's S&S that I was going to replace with my old one. But all right, that's what it's at, and it sounds good. I mean, I can adjust it up and see where we're at and go from there. All right, everybody, Pat here from West Corners Custom Cycles again. Welcome back. Today I got the CV Chinese carburetor from Amazon on here. Got it installed. Got it tuned up for base settings, and I'm going to take it and rip it up and down the road, show you how that it runs pretty decent. I actually like the way it sounds pretty good. Then I'm going to take it, I'm going to run it around, probably put a couple of 100 miles on it, and do another video from there, telling you how it ran, if I had to do anything to retune it, whether I had to adjust the air fuel mixture or if I had to go back in and rejet things. But let me show you how this is running. I like the way it sounds. go, boys and girls. I like it. It really rips. Got a lot of giddy up. I can almost tell that it's got a little more ump to it with the bigger jets, and the fuel air mixture way different than what the original carburetor had on it. All right, like I said, I'm going to get back to you with a video on how this performs, what and if I have to do anything to it. I already had the video made on the original Harley Davidson CV carburetor that came off of this. I tore it down, cleaned it, inside and out, put it back together, tuned it. So I got a video on that. I'm going to put that up, and I'll get back to you in about a week or so. I'll let you know how this is doing. Okay, until then, everybody, as always, ride safe, live life behind bars. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next video.